Welcome back, everybody. Just a little update. Now I've made some progress on the wiring for the Voron, and I'm just going to cover over some electronics bay. It's a bit of a mess still right now. I'm still going to probably end up tearing this all out and doing it a lot neater, but it's taken me a while to make sure that I had everything kind of in. Lined up and things wired, and it took a little time to route lots of wire and keeping them tangled from getting too tangled. So just want to give a cover. So we got our mains coming in here, which is 120 and going to a power supply. I basically labeled every one of my wires going to my power supply, from the power supply over to the octopus board. You can't see most of the labels now. There's the extruder motor. These are my Z motors and my AB motors here. The 2209 stepper drivers, all configured in UART mode with the jumpers removed underneath. Took these ones out. We've got the USB connection going to the Raspberry Pi, which kind of flows down through these wired channels that I 3D printed in ABS, but they tend to tabs break off a lot, so I'm going to see if I can find some real ones, because they're kind of thin and not flexible enough. So here's my Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is going to be powered directly from this secondary power supply, which will step out and put 5 volts, and this will also power the bed through the SSR, which is wired in through the trigger to the octopus board. So I got 24 volt fans, so this is all set up here with the jumpers for 24 volt. This is going to be my tool head thermistor. The bed thermistor will go here, but I have to take the bed off because I only have one hole which mounts the thermal fuse, and I need another one kind of drilled and tapped so I could fix my ground, so I can ground the bed. I don't have the tools for that, so I'm going to take that off and bring it to a friend who's got some machining tools to do that properly. I've got my probe put in here. These are the XY connections for. I got the Hall effect with the magnets for the end stop for the X and the Y. I haven't calibrated. This hasn't been powered up yet, so I've misplaced my Z stop wire. I got my 2 fans, one for my hot end and one just for the park cooling fan. So these are here. They're 24 volt. These 2 here are for my cooling fans for my electronics bay, which are here. I still got to fix these wires a little bit. So these are 24 volt fans, and they will be powered on all the time. I got my hot end, just going to power the hot end here. So we're getting pretty close. I don't have my cables hooked up for my screen yet because I wasn't thinking. I should have marked these which ones were 1 and 2, so I had to haul this apart and see which one is 1 and 2 here, so I can fix them here and here. Yeah, so that's where we're to right now. I've got kind of all the cable chains done too, so these were a little bit, not gonna say tricky, but a little time consuming to do. So here's cable chain. So I'm looking at this from the sideway, so because I have it the way I have it there for working on it. So this is everything comes up through this cable chain for the Z. These little latches in my kit, I just used a screwdriver to pop each one open. Had them all open, ran all my wires down through. Right from the tool head over, did the same thing. But One thing I did was I actually detached this enamel wires through because the clips are on the reverse side. I think that was a mistake on my part when I initially put it together. I should have made this so that most of these clips were here, so I could pop them open. So I think that chain's installed backwards, so I might pull the cables back out through this and redo it. And the same thing goes for the cable chain here on the bottom. The clips are reversed, so you have to run your cables all the way through here, back down through this chain, through here, then back into this chain, back to this corner. I apologize for orientation here. Come through this fixed piece here. You gotta take this off and put it on. Then you're bringing all your cables back up through this cable chain, back down to your electronics bay. I still have to hook up my bed thermistor. My thermal fuse. I do just a bit of wiring, soldering for that, because I have to take one of these and solder it in here, and then it has to come out of here and go down into the bed to be attached to the power supply, as well as this. So it has to continue with the 2 leads down. So I'm getting pretty close. I also got to figure out what I'm gonna do here. I might gotta get a way to keep these wires up in the channel. I might print a few little clips to put in here. I gotta see what other people do here. And I think I need a little bit more slack here to get this kind of tucked up a little nicer. There's a lot of a lot of cable to inside on one of the things. So yeah, so we're pretty close. I have the bed installed with my PEI with the textured surface sheet. It's magnetic. My bed's not tight now because I'm going to be taking that off very soon to have that drilled and tapped so I can attach my ground wire. So yeah, so we are getting really close to, here's my 2 fans, cooling fans. I don't like how these are just kind of open. I might print some grills in a nice red accent just to cover it, just to keep fingers out of there. Look at it. I don't want my kids, hearing sticking their fingers in there. But overall, this part has been a little challenging. I've had to use a few different guides. I kind of followed, I guess, in the R1 manual that I had. It was not great when I got to certain things, as you know, so I started to do a looking and searching what other people are doing, or some type of wiring guide to help me, and I found one through using an LDO motors Voron 2.4 kit, which kind of helped me get things straight. It had a little bit different color scheme with the wires, but as long as you follow through, like especially on your AC, that you don't cross anything over. So in my kit, the wires are for AC are brown and blue, and other kits are different colors. So as long as you follow through those, don't cross them over. And same thing with your DCs, black and red. Make sure that you maintain black and red continuity all the way through. I did have some Wago snap clip things. Right now they're kind of free floating, so the bed will hook up. But I bought some on Amazon, different big set here, different sizes, different work counts. So I've seen people use these to clean the wiring up and make it a little simpler, so I may use some of those, but that may be a little bit later part. I'm kind of anxious to get this thing up and running, but I want to make sure I have the cabling as neat and tidy as possible. Like I say, these things were great, get me started. I'm gonna put, and I just used the VHB tape to hold them in place. But I also printed some of these little things I'll stick on to do some cable management. I think they're gonna break. But anyway, I'll work on my cable management. So I'm getting pretty close. My next thing is going to be learning to install Clipper on the Pi, get my Octopus board with the flash with the firmware and configuration, and I guess that'll be coming soon. But hopefully I'm gonna recheck all the wiring, triple check it, and see if there's a way I can test to make sure I have everything done right. Because the last thing I want to do is get this far and plug it in and get some magic blue smoke here. So then have to start over with the electronics section again. But anyway, that's where we're to right now. If there's anything that any tips you can give me, maybe there's a different way I can mount everything to make the wiring a little bit more tawdry. I'm not really happy with how it is there now. I have some of this wire looming that I bought. I just did this to keep this bundle of cables together. I might cut off some smaller strands to do like my motors here, to clean that up, and maybe see if I can work this in a way that I can run all my cables straight up the center here, and I don't know, I'll figure that out after as this goes. But yeah, we're moving along. If you have any tips, things to watch out for, leave them in your comments. Any tips and greater help with finding a lot of resources. Just to confirm my Octopus board, because in the R1 instructions I have, you use 2 different boards to get everything in place. But, and I will throw it in here, a link. I had the picture, so I found this. This is black and white, so it's not very good, but it's kind of a good guide to at least show you, make sure that your motors are in the right sockets for steppers, your display is hooked up where your thermistor should go, where your end stop should go, your exhaust fan. That's the only thing I don't have hooked up. The other is I don't have an exhaust fan hooked up. So that's going to be later. So at least here we have print cooling, hot end fan, which I have placed there now. I've got two of my controller fans plugged in here on different ones, but I'm sure that now I can go into the firmware and change these over where I want to, and I'm still going to have to run a wire for the exhaust fan too, because that's only a short one that came with that, so I'll have to figure that out as well. And the only thing that's really going to prevent me from moving forward is, I don't know if it's missing. I've been trying to keep everything pretty organized with the build and keeping things together until I need them, but it appears that I'm missing my Z end stop wire. So I might have to make one of those. And I do have the JST connectors, and I do have some wire. I just got to make sure that it's the right type. It won't be too heavy, I'm not sure. And make one of those if I can find it. Anyway, hopefully that's all. Anyway, if you get any tips like I mentioned, throw them in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you like what I'm doing. And hope to see you around next time, when I'll hopefully be getting some firmware on this thing and getting ready to fire it up. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching.